Hey, friends, welcome back to Cozy with Calinnah, where I dive into my journey as an independent artist, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. I also connect with creatives who are multi hyphenates, dreamers, and doers. Don't forget to watch a new episode every Thursday. My next guest has done it all. Fronted bands since he was a teenager, lived in Chile, built his own recording studios, and has even taught yoga on the bluff. From Long Beach, he is the definition of a self starter. So he knows how to create his own path on his own terms. Welcome to the podcast, Colocho.
Hello.
Hey.
Woo.
How's it going?
It's going, I'll tell you that
It's
much.
going. Yes,
Day by
you
day.
just came from Cali vibes this weekend.
Oh, I did go.
Yeah,
Only one day.
only one day.
And
And who
only
did you
saw
see?
two artists.
You saw, what was it? Santa Gold?
Yep, Santa Gold
Santa Gold.
and Steel
Love her.
Pulse.
Cool, cool.
Oh, geez.
I feel like I've only been to, no, I've been to two Cali vibes. The last Cali vibes I went to, I saw Gwen Stefani. She
Ooh,
was
that's sick.
an amazing
Yeah,
performer.
I love
Amazing
that.
performer. I would love to see No Doubt, but
Yeah.
I mean, that was good enough for me. I had
I
my
mean,
fix.
close enough.
Yeah, close enough. I hear a lot of things that you've done, right? You've
Uh-huh.
done you've worked with a lot of bands.
Yeah.
You've also been on the radio.
hmm
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was on KLBP Long Beach Public Radio. I'm all KLBP Long Beach
Oh, he's
Public
practicing.
Radio. I was a part of that for about like 3 years. And now Jasmine Canales, she took over the show and it's Morning Detox. And
Shout out Jasmine.
yep, shout out Jasmine. She's holding it down on the radio front.
Sick.
But yeah, I did that for a while and produced some shows on there. And yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
And has it always been music related? Like, were you as a kid, were you always into music? Like, how did these influences come about?
So yeah, I've always been into music. My dad was a bass player, or is a bass player. Well,
Ah.
was. He is still with us, but he doesn't play bass anymore as
Gotcha.
much as he did.
And I briefly
Um,
met your dad this weekend.
Oh yeah, you did. At
Just
Fight
like at
Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah, you came.
Right,
that
right,
was
right,
cool.
right. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, so he introduced me to punk, and my parents were really young when they had me, and they were really into like music and my dad introduced me to all the punk and psychedelic rock and stuff like that, and my mom was super into like Motown, like all like the good feel soul music.
Yes.
So music was always playing at our house. My mom
Mhm.
always was playing good stuff. And my uncle, he was in this band called the Brethren Daddies, and they were like this like really Long Beach big like reggae band in like the 90s. And
Mhm.
so I remember when I knew that I wanted to play music, my uncle's band was playing the Chili Cook-Off, and it was here at the Queen Mary.
Oh, okay.
It was like 1997 or something like that.
Wow.
And my uncle brought me on stage, and he put me on like the big old speaker, and like I was sitting on the speaker, and there was a huge mosh pit, going on outside, because they were kind of like punk / reggae,
Mhm.
And yeah, I remember that day being like, I want to be in a band, like I want to play
Ah.
music,
And
And I
how
was like, my
how
dad
old were
has a
you?
bass. I was probably like 8 years old.
8 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
97, so somewhere in there, 8 or 9.
Yeah.
That was like the first time I really was like, I wanted to do music.
Mm.
And yeah, that night or that day was pretty funny because in the middle of their show, the mosh pit got so insane that like they pulled the plug on my uncle's band, and they were like, everyone needs to get out, and then it turned into a full on like riot.
Oh
Like
shit.
people started like smashing vendors over, and like the cops came in, and like they like hit my dad in the back of the leg with like a baton.
Oh,
Like they were like, get out.
Oh snap.
It was crazy.
They don't play.
So then after that, I started a little band with my friend down the street, and yeah, and then ever since then, music has been like my center, through life. It's always been something I come back to regardless.
Yeah, I feel like I think as we get older, like we forget that what the things that we used to do when we were young, like really is kind of our truer selves, right? Because
Mm,
it's like you want to like kind of remember that you're still a kid, even though you're an
yeah.
adult, right? Like the things that make you happy and bring you joy and stuff. And I think that's when I started singing like in front of a stage was like
Mm,
around the same age was like 7.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
you know, music has always been a part of my life, but I just like didn't really like think of it so seriously until like recently.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so true. Like music is such a big influence in everything that we do, and I feel like it's been the constant in my life, even though I've like done multiple different things throughout.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Definitely.
and do you only play one? Like, did you play other instruments or?
Well, now I play. I could play guitar. I could do drums. I'm not like the best, but I definitely can hold the beat for a little bit.
Nice.
um, but bass was like the thing I started on,
Mm-hmm.
and singing was like just something that came a little natural to like do, like because I just love to sing and sing songs. Um, yeah,
I listened to your recent song. I think it
yeah,
was like I
yeah.
love. What's it called? I love that or
Oh, I love it.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I love it.
I love it. And wait, question: was Chelsea on the
Yeah,
vocals? Okay,
yeah.
because I
So
was like,
Chelsea
that sounds
did.
like Chelsea to me. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I wanted to ask
Yeah,
you.
me and Chelsea have been recording a lot of songs together, and she's gonna be
Oh,
on this new
sick.
one that I'll show you. Maybe we'll put a
Ooh.
little clip of it on
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Could be
Yeah,
cool,
we could
right?
definitely do that.
We've been, making a lot of music together over these last couple of years, and
Wow.
I haven't played live in a few years, so I'm getting together a live band this July to
Ooh.
start playing this upcoming year.
That's very close.
Yeah,
That's like right around the corner.
yeah. I have
Exciting.
like most of the members ready to rock.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then are you promoting like a new, or I guess we could talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Let's talk about a little off topic. So you're a pressure valve technician by day and an artist by night. How did you get into these separate worlds?
Um. Well, the pressure valve technician job kind of just appeared, fell into my lap a little bit.
Okay.
Um. It's something I never thought I would do, and
Yeah.
something I didn't even know existed. But I got offered to do it, and I did it, and I love it. Like, there's
Wow.
something about um just being like hands on and like building things or building valves, and everything's very technical,
Mm-hmm.
and it just keeps my mind like busy, you know?
Right.
And if I have too much time with my mind, it's could be chaotic,
Right, right, right.
So it really helps me, like, I don't know, it's another
Maybe
center.
structure or something
Yeah, it's
in
just
your life.
something I really enjoy doing.
That's
Yeah.
cool. And
Mhm.
for the viewers who don't know what a pressure valve technician
Yeah,
is,
right.
what is this?
That's true. Well, don't you get it? So pressure valves, they come in all sizes, right? Basically, what
Right.
they do though is oil refineries, wineries, breweries, solar plants, anything that deals with like high pressure, situations, to eliminate catastrophes. The valves are placed on these tankers
Mm-hmm.
and throughout the system of a refinery. And if something builds up too much pressure, and say like the operator like falls asleep and something's just building pressure and it's like gonna explode, like the release valves will open up and release the product in there so that nothing, well, in hopes that nothing explodes, you know what I
Right,
mean?
like nothing
Because
goes outside of that container or
yeah,
something.
nothing like the container doesn't explode, and
That's
you know what I
scary.
mean? Yeah. So yeah, so
Dangerous.
these release valves help prevent
Explosions.
explosions. Um,
Oh,
you know.
that's
So
wild.
so yeah,
That's
what I do is they get sent to me and I rebuild them, or we figure out what's wrong with them, or we go into the refineries and test them and like tell them, hey, like that one needs to get repaired, or that one, those ones are good,
Wow.
so yeah.
And like, is that kind of like what's sustaining the? Because I like nursing for me was like something I never thought I would do. I know I'm Filipino, but it's like nursing was like the last thing I did, and like as a career change, and then I was like, and then COVID hit, and then that's like my experience as a nurse for the people who haven't seen the other things, the other podcasts. But yeah, then I turned to music, and then the nursing kind of was like the financial part for the artistry.
Hmm.
Do you feel like like that's kind of the same situation, or like do you fund a lot of your projects? Like, because being an artist is expensive, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Equipment, like these, like mics, just little things, like it all adds up, and I think you try to get it like little by little so it doesn't feel like a
right,
lot.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
um for me, like, I think it definitely helps,
Yeah.
but for some reason I've always found a way, even on my
Mm.
poorest days, like, found a way to get what I need, like, to record or whatever. One thing I always kept, like, stable through my life was the studio. You know what I mean? I don't know
Oh,
how. There's
wow.
always ways to do it though, but
Yeah.
um, and also I guess since the music community is so, like, big, and like, there's been a lot of help where people are like, yeah, just use my stuff, like, come into my spot and just get on, like,
Right.
do your thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, really beautiful, and has helped me a lot, a lot. um but now having the job, at least, like, um it's like a well-paying job, and I'm able to, like, live comfortably, you know
Right.
what I mean,
Right. That part.
and not, like, feel like I'm struggling. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's nice to not struggle.
It
I
is. It
remember
is
a
really nice.
time too where I was like, not making much.
Yeah.
And then you're just, but I mean, there's always a way. If you really, really like something, I feel
Yeah.
like then you make the time for it, you
For
commit to
sure.
it. And like you said, like that was the constant was the studio,
Mhm.
and like no matter what phase of your life.
Yeah.
So you built your own studio and
Well, right now I'm sharing with a handful of people. I think you've been in that studio
ICS, is it
space.
ICS?
Yeah, with
Oh, okay.
Miggy.
Oh,
I'm in the same room with
oh,
Miggy and
okay.
all
I
them.
never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
I have my own stuff at home that I've built up, But with that studio, it's kind of like everything's there. Everyone kind of, like, contributed something. I feel like mostly, like,
Right.
Anthony. He's an angel.
Mhm.
Like, he set it all up, and you
Shout out
know,
Anthony.
yep. And that's been um, a blessing. But there's other studios that I've had where, yeah, I've put time into it, and you know bought plugins, got microphones.
Yeah.
It's always been a team effort, though. I'd say each studio I've been in, except for, like, my home studio, has been like a team effort with, like, someone else, and going in on things, and oh, you got the drums, I got the bass, like, you know
Right.
what I mean.
Mhm.
So I think that's what's cool about it
Yeah.
too.
And I think like being a part of a band, like you're collaborating, you're like it's a
Yeah.
team effort. So I mean, I think that's important, right? Like
Mhm.
any advice for someone who's trying to start a band, like how do you find the right band? Is
Right.
it just through time? Like what would you say?
That's a good question, because I feel like I'm in that situation now where I'm, like, surrounded by musicians, but I can't really, like, excuse me.
It's the
Um
it's the kombucha.
yeah.
That thing makes you burp.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um so I feel like it's a tough thing, because in my past bands, it's just been so natural. Like with Band of Wizards, it was like my friend Angela opened up Salute Juice, and she, like, hired me as, like, one of the first employees, like, in that area, or in that at that job. And through that I met, like, my buddy, and we just, like, hit it off right away, like, and I'm like, oh, you play drums, like, oh yeah, and then it just naturally happened. And
Mm.
that's happened with most of the bands I've been a part of. But now with this, like, project that I'm doing now, I feel like I have a lot of the songs recorded, and like I've had like studio musicians friends, come and record on them. But
Right.
everyone's so busy, and everyone's like a musician, I feel like, and everyone's in a band, and everyone has so much going on. It's like really different from what it was 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I feel like not many people were playing in bands, so like everyone was hungry to like jump in a band. But now it's like, oh, I'm in 10 bands, like I'll try to make some time for you. So it's like,
Right. I feel like everybody I know is in like 8 bands.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, how do you
yeah,
manage this?
yeah.
Like the band that I originally had like are in multiple
You're
bands, and I'm
right.
just like, I don't know
Yeah, so I feel like
how.
that part for me is tough. Um,
Mm,
and I think part of it is, if you could come up with a budget and be able to pay the musicians, that's like what it maybe come to.
yeah.
But also it's just nice when everyone's like naturally just like wants to be in a band together. Um,
Right.
but either way, uh, I think it's possible, and you just got to put the feelers out, and
Yeah.
just try to, vibe with certain people that, maybe you see them play and you just go talk to them.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes also though, like someone could be really talented, but if you don't vibe with them, like your
Yeah.
personalities can clash too,
Right.
and then that's not
Yeah.
fun.
No.
So it's always, I think, a good balance, and
Mhm.
choosing who you want to work. It's just like anything, right? That you
Yeah.
want to work with, someone who you want to work with. You want to be able to get along with them too.
Right. And
Yeah,
music's so sensitive, you know what I
it
mean?
really is. It's very emotional, at
Mhm.
least for me.
Yeah.
And do you feel like your technical work ever influences how you approach creating music? Like let's say, you're at your job and like you're having a bad day. Like, do you get inspired at work?
Yes. Definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, um I feel like I get more inspired working than I do like on my days off. Like when I
Interesting.
put in like a 12-hour like hard day, like going up ladders and like doing like dangerous stuff, like
Mhm.
when I get home, I usually have like like energy where I'm like, I'm gonna go to the studio. Like I need to like, I need to go
Mm.
do something with this energy. And then there's other days like on a Saturday, if I'm like just been like chilling all day long, I'm like I don't really want to do anything right now. Like
You want to rest.
yeah, or rest or
Yeah.
like even if I have the energy, I'm like I don't necessarily put it towards music. But I notice when I work a hard day at work, like the wheels are usually turning for music.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I be so freaking tired at work, like my day job, and then I'll like get off work and like thinking like I need a nap, and then I
Yeah.
come back from work and I'm like, I have all this energy because I'm not at work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's like a little more draining, and then you want to like have fun now. So it's
Yeah.
like you're not as tired,
That makes sense.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So I definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
And how do you manage time and energy to make sure your artistry doesn't get drowned by the 9 to 5 hustle?
Mm. I just go for it. It's like sometimes I have to push myself too to be like, all right,
Yeah.
like I set this plan up like to go to the studio and meet with someone, like I'm gonna do it.
Right.
Maybe like a little bit of pushing myself and um yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I think like also just practicing it more, because sometimes I feel like, oh, I need to feel inspired.
Mhm.
I've heard different things, like, you don't really, there's like no such thing as inspiration, like that you just have to keep on doing it to get the inspiration.
Right.
I've heard that, I've heard different things, and then also like you can go on a trip and get
Yeah, or
inspired, but
sometimes even like not forcing it and just being like, you know what? Like I haven't been inspired for like 2 months. But like cool,
right.
like I'm just like experiencing like life
Life.
things, you know what I mean? Which
Yeah.
channels into music or whatever your art is. Like you can't really have art without like experience of
Right.
things or whatever.
Right.
You might, but you know,
Yeah, sometimes
for me.
you're right.
Yeah.
Like it's like how's your process like? Do you write songs based off of your life. Some people are like literal with what when they write, or they imagine,
Yeah.
other people going through things and they channel that into their process. Like, what
Right.
is your
I'm very
process?
literal.
Okay.
I'm very like, and sometimes I'm like, oh, that's like real direct, but that's just how I am.
Right.
Um, and that's what makes me feel good when I write songs, and it's like, it feels like a moment of my life, a piece of me, a piece of like something that happened, or, um, something that's just literal. It's
Right.
like very literal to me, and that's just how I write.
That's
It's,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
I've written, like, I've tried different methods, but I think the ones that hit the most, or the ones that I want to like perform, are the ones that are like the ones that I'm really sad about, or like
yeah, yeah.
heartbreak, like
Right,
fucking like
right.
just like sad
Yeah,
fucking songs.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know. It's more personal, and I feel like, relatable, and cuz it's coming like from your heart.
For
So
sure.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And do you think that you come up, like, do you have lyrics first? Do you have production first? Do you freestyle? Like,
I'm
how do you
usually
normally?
um I'm usually a freestyle person, but what I'll do is like maybe I'll just create a beat, and then I'll just like get my guitar or my bass, and I'll set up like the mic and then play just something, just whatever starts coming out,
Mhm.
and then I'll just start singing just anything.
Anything. Yeah.
Like anything that I start to feel, I just start singing, and then like just usually I'll make like a huge like 15-minute long like session, and just
Right.
like just keep going and just like let it all out. And then yeah, usually something comes from that for me. Like
Yeah, I'm the same. I feel like I'm definitely like a freestyler. Like, I've tried, like, I write in journals and stuff, but
yeah.
like I never like really have a song out of those
Yeah, I see
things.
what
Like,
you're
I always
saying.
have
Yeah.
like a thing, and it just like never works out.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of like, or at least for me, I same thing, freestyle like over a beat or something.
Yeah.
And then I just come up with like the lyrics last.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually what it is for me too. And but I love people that could like write. I'm always like,
Yeah.
damn. Like sometimes like I can, every once in a while I'll like be at work and I'll think of like a line and I'll be like, oh, that's like cool. Like I feel that. And then but I know some people that like they'll just be like, can you play it again? And then I play it, and then they're just like writing, 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 and then all of a sudden they have like a whole song, and I'm like, wow. I was like, that was
Dang. Yeah,
cool.
everybody just has their own process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, the artist SZA, like, I feel like she probably just, because I think her what do you call it, when
Flow.
her flow, her
Mm.
cadence is like,
Oh.
it's just like her talking. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a hard skill, I
That
feel
is.
like, to sing like you're talking, but
Yeah.
then make it like it. There's never really like a just a straightforward. She's like very all over,
Yeah.
but it sounds nice to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. No, I feel it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
All right, so let's talk about Long Beach.
Yeah.
Long Beach.
Buh, buh,
Blah blah blah.
big up.
Long Beach has a tight knit creative scene. How
Yeah.
has the community helped you grow or pushed you out of your comfort zone?
I feel like definitely what we were talking about with like the studios. Everyone's very, come record at my spot if you need to, or like, oh, you need drums on this, like Tom Kendall. He heard the song I'll show you later, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, you need a drummer on this, like I'll record drums. Like let's go to the studio right now, and then he puts drums down, and then someone else
Sick.
comes and hears it and puts something else on it. So I think everyone's like so open to like working on things together. It is kind of like timing and place too. You know what I mean? Like
Right. I mean, it's just like, oh, it's a
yeah,
like, it's just 10
sometimes it's
minutes
like because
away.
we're at the studio, it's like
Right.
you show someone and it's like, okay, let's just walk to mine and do this.
Right.
But I feel like that's definitely helped me, and um, I think what pushes me is like knowing other people are doing shows and stuff, and like you get to go see them play, and you're like, oh, cool, like I want to play too, and like
Yeah.
or they invite you to come play and stuff like that. Everyone's very active,
Yeah.
which is
I love
cool.
going to shows just to study,
Mhm.
I may not even know the artist, but I'm like always down to just kind of like learn,
Yeah.
because there's always something new in every show like that I have never tried,
Right.
and I think it's just like a beautiful thing. Like everyone just like has their own style and their own process and just the way of performing too.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like to just watch and
yeah.
observe too.
That's what's cool about Long Beach is like, you know, you go right down the street and there's like a punk show that's like a
Mhm.
great punk show, and then you
Yeah.
go like across the street over there, there's a great R&B show.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's
Everything.
just so much music here, and it's like just beautiful. Like there's so much inspiration for music,
Mhm.
and so much push. You know.
Yeah. So
Um,
just being like here
yeah.
and seeing our friends getting inspired pushes you also.
Yeah. I'd say
Gotcha.
so.
Sick. Me too.
Yeah.
I like being around. It just like, yeah, I think like begets like, they say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you attract what you want to put out in this world. So if the more that you surround yourself with those people, I think it just is more natural,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
What do you do when you hit a creative block or feel uninspired after a long work day? Is there anything that, do you decompress?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
sometimes don't try to like force the if I feel
Mm,
like uninspired to do music, like I just don't force it, It's in no rush for me. I'm not trying to be anything or go anywhere with it. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
just something
yeah.
that I love.
Right.
So sometimes, with that question, like, I'll go to the gym, exercise, ride my bike. That'll change up my mood, I don't know if it like
Pushes you to like work on the music
right.
or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm really not feeling like doing music, I just don't. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been like that sometimes for a long time, where I haven't done nothing and I'm like there's a part of me that guilts myself for it, like, oh, you should be doing music. Everyone else is doing music. Why aren't you doing
Right.
your music? You know? But then I have to like relax that voice and be like, there's nothing like why am I don't
Yeah.
need to pressure myself to do it, because
Right.
when it comes and it feels good and it's like nice and it works effortlessly.
Right. Right.
When I try to like force it, I'll just sit there and be like, damn, this song sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right. This
mean? I'm
song
like,
sucks.
I just spent
Trash.
8 hours on this.
Right. 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 Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I guess it's better, right? When you feel like obviously you don't want to like not work on music forever,
Right.
but you
Yeah.
you want to give yourself space to like deal with just regular
Yeah.
things in life.
Yeah. Just enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deal with what's going on around you and, you know, try to show up for
Yourself.
yourself, your family, relationships. You know what I mean?
Facts, facts,
Yeah.
facts. That's important too.
That's like a whole
Family,
nother
family is
thing.
everything.
Family's everything for
Right.
sure. Yeah.
What would you say? Because I really wanted to like highlight kind of like the struggles, right? As creatives, opposed to like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I think because I have a full time job, I go
Mhm.
through this too. What would you say to anyone stuck in a full time job who wants to reconnect with their creativity? Maybe someone who is not necessarily an artist, right? Or like just wants to get into something because sometimes I talk to people and they're like, how do you get there? And I'm like, I want to ask other people too, like what's your process and
Mm.
and how to start?
Yeah. That takes like I think, you know, just your self determination to like do you really want it, or are you just saying you want it? Cuz it's
Right.
like if you want, if you want to do pottery or like something creative, you kind of just have to like do it. Like you
Right.
have to like go do the thing
You have to
that
take
you
the
want to.
class,
Either take the class
spend the money.
or yeah, spend the money or
Yeah.
find a free one or like,
Right.
do some investigating, find something. It's really about just like doing it.
Yeah.
Because then once you do it, then that's what creates the little like spark where you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this again. And maybe like set
Mm.
aside a day where you just are like, okay, on Sunday, like I'm doing something creative, like
Right.
whatever it is, that could help.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
think process of elimination too,
Mhm.
like just try everything.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah, that
try
too.
rollerblading. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rent some blades, rent some roller skates,
Right.
and you don't have to like buy all the things to become the thing like
Yeah.
right away. Like you just want to do a little bit just to see if you like it,
Yeah.
and then like try another day, and then like if it's not what you think it is, then you could pivot and do something else.
Yeah, that
You know what I
makes
mean?
perfect sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's helped me because I've tried like I feel like you just have to kind of be fearless a little bit and just like kind
Yeah.
of like looking like a fool,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, you
embarrassing
can't be.
yourself a little
Mhm.
bit because everybody sucks in the beginning.
Yeah.
Nobody's a professional
Right.
right off the bat,
Yeah.
unless I don't know. I don't think anyone is.
I mean,
Right?
maybe
I
a few
mean, maybe,
people.
maybe you
I'm
have
just
like
kidding.
a God given gift or
Yeah.
something, but
But then that's when you know you found your thing, you know? Imagine you
right,
like just picked up surfing and you're like, "Oh, I'm good at this," you know?
like
Like
a natural,
yeah, like a
right?
natural, you know? But you would never have known if you didn't at least try, you
Facts.
know what I mean? And yeah, I always try to push myself to try like certain things, like new things. Even with yoga, you know, like,
Oh yeah.
I was like one of those people that's like at first I was like, I don't know, like
Were you like anti yoga
no,
before?
I was
Oh, okay,
never
okay.
anti yoga,
Uh
but
huh.
I was definitely, a little hesitant at first, and then you do it and you're like, oh, okay, like this makes me feel amazing, you know. And
Right.
then I would always run into people who were like, well, I can't do yoga because like, you know, I uh I can't touch my toes. And I'm like, well, like, that's why you do yoga. Like, so eventually you can touch your
Right.
toes, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Like, don't get in your head about
Yeah.
touching your toes. Just, like, do it because it's good for your body and it feels good. And,
Mm.
like, you're going to thank yourself. Maybe not. Maybe people won't thank themselves for doing yoga. But
I
for
feel
me,
like it's good. I mean, it's good to
yeah.
stretch at this
Yeah.
age.
Stretching's so nice. And, like,
Yeah.
breathing. Breathing's where it's really at. Deep conscious breathing,
I need to
those
do more of that.
I know, me too. I think,
Yeah.
we all do. But when you do remember to do it and take the time for it, it feels really good and it relaxes your nervous system and it creates more space in your brain for those creative things.
Right.
And that's important to like remember,
Mental health is
Yeah.
definitely key, and like I was talking to Choppies, and it's just you want to be able to take care of like those life things first before you have to take care of yourself before you
Yeah.
can do anything else, like
Yeah.
whether that's taking care of somebody else or working on the craft, or I
Mhm.
think it's just like it's always like having that relationship, I feel like, within yourself, and being okay
Yeah.
so that you can flourish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
It's hard, but
It's hard.
I
It
agree with
ain't
it.
easy. It
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
easier
Right?
said than done, always. All right. So before we promote anything,
uh
I'm going to do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay? What's a song on repeat right now for you?
Oh. Honestly, "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. I
Oh,
don't know why.
that's a
That
great
and
song.
"Peaceful Feeling" by the Eagles. I like am kind of like going through like this little Eagles phase again. You
Okay.
know what I mean? I always go through like things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nothing like new, nothing new, not a new song or anything. But
No,
it's
I mean,
it's
it doesn't
honestly
matter.
like I
Yeah.
just love his voice or their voice. There's a few of them,
Hmm.
but
I saw them
yeah.
live once
Oh,
with
you
my
did?
parents.
That's
It
awesome.
was pretty
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah. They're
That's so
great
cool.
live. Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And then that, like, their logo too is sick too. I just
Yeah.
like the whole thing. Yeah. 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 Okay. Biggest ick at work.
Mm.
Can we talk about this?
Mall.
Or you don't have to answer it at
No, no,
all.
I'm down. They're gonna see this anyway, so I'm just kidding. um, I would say probably. Well, there's a lot of things, but I don't want to like throw any like of my friends under the
Yeah,
bus
yeah, yeah.
on
We don't
things.
we don't have to talk about the friends.
But I will.
Right,
No, I'm just kidding.
right.
More so, I think that maybe even not even only with my job, but like a lot of like career-based jobs and stuff, like they don't understand life and work balance. You know what I mean? Like I think it would be so much more beneficial to everyone working and like to the company if they understood life and work balance. Like, hey, like
Mm.
I'm not gonna like, I understand that you have life, you know what I mean, outside of work. So I'm not gonna treat you like everything you do is work. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Um, so that's one
That's a
thing.
very good point.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good
something
point.
that should evolve in like the workforce because, yeah,
Yeah.
and in Europe it's it's a lot like work life balance is kind of figured out in ways.
Yeah, I feel like I've been very fortunate to travel,
Yeah,
and every time I come back,
yeah,
I'm like,
me too.
we work so freaking much here
mm,
in America.
yeah.
Like, I feel like your work here is your identity,
Right. Well,
which,
especially California too is
yeah,
like it's all hustle and who's doing what the best and what are you and what am I and you know what I mean. So
right,
much is like defined on like status and money,
right.
and it's really sad to be honest. But that's just how it is in California.
Yeah.
Like for I think.
Yeah, and other places they have like siesta time,
Yeah.
like where you take a nap.
Yeah.
Like we don't have that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
For
miss
sure.
naps from kindergarten or whatever
Yeah.
grade that was,
Yeah.
and we don't have that. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's like a workaholic kind of country, unfortunately, and it's just built on business,
Mhm.
and if like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of they work you to the ground sometimes.
They really want to.
So,
I don't let them.
ah,
I'm like, oh no,
I
I'm
love
going
that.
home, dude.
Right, right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
But I also put in work though too. Like I give them my time as well.
right.
But like if it's when I know that I've at my threshold, I'm like I'm going home. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stay the extra 6 hours today or whatever it is. Like
Mm.
if
Dang, I wish I could say that at my job.
I mean
Or
y-
maybe
you
should I
probably
try? Should I
can.
try?
Yeah, I mean you might but also too
Right.
like yeah, there's so many different things about that that we could talk about. But
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I just thought I'd throw this out there. It's super off topic. Favorite Thai restaurant in Long Beach? Do you like Thai food?
I love Thai
Okay, I
food.
figured you
Yeah.
would be a person who likes Thai food. So, favorite Thai
Um.
food restaurant?
hmm. Well, Thai District is really good. There's
Yeah,
one on Broadway that I haven't gone to
Manao.
yet. Yeah,
They're
but
fire too.
everyone says like good things about that.
It's good. I
Um.
like them.
I really like Thai curry pizza.
I still
Have you
haven't been there.
what?
I know.
Yeah.
I need to go. I
Well,
need
yeah.
to
You
go.
just need to order a pizza and bring it home because their place is really tiny. It's like just a
Oh.
window, really.
Oh, okay.
But
A
that
gem.
place is amazing.
I hear great
It
things
used
from
to be called
everybody.
Dean's Pizza. I don't
Okay.
know if it's still called that. They might have like changed their name to Thai curry pizza. I don't even know, but it's
Mm.
so good.
And then, London. He
Yes.
was saying that there was another flavor. It was like pad thai or
Oh,
something.
no,
That's
it's Tom.
Tom Yum.
Yeah, Tom Yum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that one's
Damn.
really good
Okay,
too.
I need to get up on this.
Yeah, for real.
All right. And lastly, if your art had a smell, what would it be?
Ooh, wow, that's a good question.
I don't even
If
know what I would
my
say on this
art
one.
had a smell like damn roses.
Ah.
It would smell. There's this one smell. I don't know what flower it is, but you'll get it walking down the street. They're like little white ones, like little.
Oh, is it
It
jasmine?
might be, but
Okay.
that smell always is like.
Or magnolia, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
I know
so
what you're
good.
saying.
And
Yeah.
it happens in the spring all throughout Long Beach, and I just love that. I'll
Yeah.
take that as my artist smell.
We'll have to find out what the name of that flower is.
Yeah.
Link in bio.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this
Yeah,
podcast.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Is there anything you want to promote?
Well, okay, so I do have a new song coming out.
Okay, now.
It's well, I don't have the exact date though.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll figure
But
it
you
out.
know what? I was thinking maybe if we can play like a little hint of it in here.
Yeah.
Like we don't have to do it like while we're sitting here.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if that would work.
Um, So we had technical difficulties,
but we're back.
but we're back.
Okay, so here it goes. It's Tamo on the guitar.
Nice. I like it already.
She comes to me, feathered in my bed. She's patient with her moves, like she knows that I love her.
Is this flute?
Brian Baker. Got Brian
He's
Baker
sick.
on the
He's
horns.
sick. Yeah.
She sleeps soft and sweet.
Chelsea, Anthony Bavell.
Everybody.
Yeah. Kelsey Gonzalez on the chorus. He wrote that.
Sick. I like it. Oh, this is the chorus.
Yeah, this is the chorus.
Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah.
Okay, Chelsea.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Thank you.
I like the direction.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a vibe.
Cool. Good.
Hey, excited. So we don't have a date yet, but
There's no date.
since we don't have a date, where can everyone find you?
So on Spotify, you could type in Colocho, Colocho, and I have 3 songs on there. And then you could find me on my Instagram, and it's just Livinsky, Livinniskey. And yeah, you can find me in those 2 places.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being a part of the podcast.
You're welcome.
All right, friends. Thanks so much for watching the latest episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit that notification bell so you can see more episodes on the next, sing with me, Cozy with Calinnah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.